Good to go.
Good morning and welcome to the Transforming Your Community Through CDBG Innovative Grant Program webinar. The webinar will last approximately 1 hour. All materials shared with you today will be presented on our website at dca.ga.gov later this afternoon. All participants have been placed into mute-only mode. Please use the Submit Questions pane to submit any of your questions. We will verbally respond to your questions at the conclusion of the presentation.
Hello and good morning. My name is Joni Perry, and I wanted to also welcome you to our webinar. I'm the Division Director for the Community Finance Division, and for those of you who may not be as familiar with the department, our division is where the majority of the agency's community and economic development finance programs are housed. I'll be presenting an overview of our new program, and then I will turn the program over to Kimberly Carter, who is the director of our Office of Community Development, and she will go through the pre-application stage of this program with you. Today we are presenting what we consider to be an exciting opportunity for local governments that are eligible to participate in our state CDBG program. For those of you who are not familiar with the CDBG program, it's a federally funded program at HUD, and I've just committed the biggest PUFA of the CADOs. It uses an acronym that some of you may not be familiar with. CDBG stands for Community Development Block Grant Program. And the CDBG program is really the cornerstone of states' efforts to address community and economic development needs of our many towns and rural areas. It's also by far the most flexible source of federal assistance and can address a wide range of community development needs. In Georgia, we have two delivery systems for CDBG. There's the entitlement part of the program, and then there's the non-entitlement part of the program. The entitlement program is made up basically of your urban cities and counties. Urban cities are generally cities with a population in excess of 50,000, and urban counties are generally counties in excess of 200,000. And then the non-entitlements is the remainder of the state. And at DCA, we administer the state non-entitlement part of this program. As a little background, our staff has been challenged by our Commissioner, Christopher Nunn, to develop a set-aside out of our CDBG funds for a demonstration program that would provide significant CDBG funding for projects that can result in transformational changes. The result of that challenge is the program that we're rolling out for you today. The purpose of the Innovative Grant Program is to encourage projects that will result in transformational changes to local governments eligible to participate in our state CDBG program. My goal is to provide an overview of the program, and then, as I said, I'll turn it over to Kimberly Carter to walk you through the pre-application process. The department realizes without any doubt that transformational changes cannot occur overnight or without sustainable financial resources. So we feel like if we want to see these changes occur, we want to provide the financing to help communities follow through on their vision, strategy, and a commitment to these changes. Therefore, we will provide financial resources to help kickstart this change. DCA is defining transformational as an individual or series of activities that will support long-term, systemic, and sustainable change. We hope and feel that this definition is broad enough to allow our non-entitlement governments the flexibility in defining what could be transformational in your community. As an additional resource to help you meet these challenges, for FY 18 and 19, or for the FY 19 funding year, DCA will include an innovative grant program to reward local governments that can implement these type projects. To support these efforts, we are pulling $2 million from our FY 2018 and our 2019 CDBG allocation for a set-aside for this innovative grant competition for a total pool of $4 million. Local governments that are eligible to participate in our state non-entitlement CDBG program can apply for up to $2 million for a transformational project. Now, there is going to be a match requirement, and the minimum match requirement will be 15% of the amount of the grant request. So, for example, if you were to come in for the full maximum amount of $2 million, you would have to come up with a $300,000 match. And same if you came in for $1 million, then you'd have a $150 million match. Similar to our regular CDBG program, while the match should be in cash, the source of the funding can be a source other than the local government. The innovative grant program is going to require that a preliminary pre-app be submitted, and similar to our processes on some of our other programs where a pre-app is submitted and we reply back to the community on the eligibility and the competitiveness. On this pre-application process, this will allow you to tell us your story and then for us to assess the project and see if it meets what we're looking for in the innovative round and how competitive it might be. Pre-apps will be due by May 31st. And after we do a very quick turnaround or review of those pre-apps and notify those who are going to be invited to submit a full application, those applications will be due by August 31st. As I said, the purpose of the preliminary application is for you to let us know of your interest in making a formal application, and likewise for us to determine if the application meets the intent of the set-aside and also if it's eligible for funding. We'll review these applications, these pre-apps for completeness, and determine if it's eligible, and then we will notify you very quickly, and then we may even follow up with site visits and hold discussions with you to make sure that we understand exactly what you have in mind. We have already had some inquiries about some potential projects, and I will tell you that we're very excited to hear the type of projects that communities have in mind to apply. There's several goals that we have thrown out for you all to look at when you're thinking about a project, and these will include perhaps you're providing a service to a previously unserved or underserved group of low or moderate income people. that you're proposing a unique or original strategy that would produce a traditional CDBG project at a lower cost, the encouragement of initiative and creativity and uniqueness in addressing problems that are intrinsic to low and moderate income people, and coordination of private and nonprofits and other public and state and local resources in unique ways that have not traditionally been coordinated in order to address problems that are unique to low and moderate income people. And then the last two bullets on this slide talk about community revitalization strategies. And that is getting to creating these partnerships. It also goes to the point of, if you're familiar with our redevelopment fund grant that lets us address the slum and blight national objective. This is typically, the slum and blight national objective is not usually competitive, and we don't see it being presented in our annual competition, but this would be a great opportunity to perhaps do a larger scale redevelopment or elimination of slum and blight type project. And at this point, I will turn the program over to Kim, and she will walk you through the pre-application process.
Thank you, Joni. Again, good morning, everyone. Let's start to take a look at the pre-application for the Innovative Grant Program. As Joni mentioned previously, there are two basic components to the pre-application. First is we wanted to provide applicants guidance on the application process, as well as give us an opportunity to learn a little bit more about your project by receiving some basic information. The application is structured as follows. There is a cover page, the project description section, innovative exploration, preliminary source and use statement, project structure, which also includes other partners that are involved in the project, public benefit standards, and contact information. So let's take a look at the actual application. The application is an 8-page application. However, please don't be afraid of the 8-page number. The 8 pages, as I mentioned, is an effort to provide you with some guidance and to also be as transparent as possible in our review process. Page 1 is the cover page that basically gives us information regarding who the applicant is, lets us make sure that you understand the match requirements, and is certified by the chief elected official or a certifying authorized party within the city or the local government. Page 2 walks you through who is an eligible applicant. As Joni mentioned, this program is eligible to our state non-entitlement communities. It also walks you through the eligibility requirements as far as state planning and financial reporting eligibility requirements. Each applicant will have to be in compliance with this Georgia Planning Act, as well as House Bill 489, which is the Service Delivery Act, be in compliance with the Government Management Indicator Survey, as well as the Local Government Finance Reporting Survey and the Georgia Government Audit Act. We have provided links in the application, the pre-application, that will provide you more information on whether your city or county is in compliance and how to gain more information about those things. Page 3 and 4 goes into all of the eligible activities that you can include in your innovative project. I will not go through point by point each of these eligible activities, but encourage you to read the application thoroughly. Each of these components must benefit at least 70% of low to moderate income persons, or for economic development projects, 51%. Joint applications are accepted. And again, the deadline for pre-applications is May 31st. All applications must be either received or postmarked by this date and submitted to DCA at our Central Atlanta office. Beginning on page 5 is where we learn a little bit more about your community and your project. As previously mentioned, we would like to receive a full documentation description of your project. What national objectives will be met by the project, and other basic information that gives us an overall overview of what your project entails. What's the status of your project, and how far have you come in realizing your project? The crux of the application is in section 2, the innovation section. This is where you will give us your community development needs, and you will outline and provide a detailed analysis of the proposed project and what that project addresses. We want to know why this particular project is transformational for your community. We understand that each community is very unique and different, and what may be transformational in one community might not be in another. And so this is your opportunity to fully outline what this project entails. As with our other programs, we would like to know your preliminary source and uses. How much money are you seeking from our program, and what is the use of those funds, as well as any other partners and sources of funding that will be included in the project? Are those funds committed or not? These are the types of questions that we ask and seek to find in the source and use statement. The project structure section, we would like to know who are all the parties and principals involved in your project. And in public benefit standards, what is the expected outcome for the project? And what are the results that you plan to see? Describe to us how this project will truly transform your community or your region. As you will see, we also break down non-economic development projects as well as economic development projects. For economic development projects, if you are proposing a loan, we would also like to see what those payment terms are and any collateral that might be presented. And finally, who is the contact for this particular project, so that if we have any questions, we can direct them to the proper entity. Now that we've gone through the pre-application, I wanted to give you an opportunity to see the rating factors for the final application. The final application is divided into 3 sections: project feasibility, project strategy, and